Welcome back to this X-Wing match analysis series. Today we're going to be looking at the top card of Adepticon. And once again, we're going to look at Duncan Howard. Not all matches are recorded, so we'll be looking at other players as well. But he's got a new list, adapting to the nerf of Colonel Jendon, going from 7 points to 8 points. And we're just gonna have a good look and have a bit of fun watching this game and trying to analysis it. So on the Empire side, we have a non-standard loadout Darth Vader that has brilliant evasion, debris gambit, pattern analyzer, fire control systems, afterburners. And then for Sintifel we have Duke and Predator. For Fifth Brother, we have fire control systems, concussion missiles, and for Visor we have Emperor Palpatine. On the Separatist side, we have Sunfac with elusive ensnare targeting computer. Then for Dirge we have proton cannons, Xandu Blood, title, General Grievous crew. And we got DFS-081 with energy shell charges, independent calculations, grappling struts. The other Vulture droids have the same loadout except energy shell charges replaced with Discord missiles, so I'm just going to say the names. The Iron Assembler and 2 Chow prototypes. And then lastly, we have on the 7 ship list DGS-047 with Honda and repulsor lift stabilizers. Alright, so talking about lists, starting with the Empire side. So we obviously have Darth Vader replacing Jendon as that high point, need to do the work ship. Obviously Visor is going to coordinate Darth Vader, I imagine, to do his new debris gambit evading, which he can't do without on his normal pilot card. So that would be interesting to see practically the same routes, maybe some afterburners use. After 4K with stress, you're still going to be able to boost. Looking at what's supposed to replace Darth Vader on the flank, Sintifel, considerably less tanky, but practically fulfills the same job. Hits extremely hard. The only downside is that if you catch Sintifel, rolling any poor dice within that range too, he's just gonna get popped just like that. And another thing that's interesting is no bomber, right? Instead we have a Fifth Brother. Just gonna see how much value you can get with just taking target locks. But it's interesting that he doesn't have homing missiles, which has that very heavy synergy. There is a very high ceiling of concussion missiles hitting a lot of the 7 ships going in formation. Another thing that will be kind of relevant in this game is the global Emperor Palpatine force. This force allows you to basically, anyone on your team gets to use it globally. I'm definitely going to mention how many procs that are of meaning that could have cost him the game on that regard. You also have to worry about the fact that these ships are so low initiative, Darth Vader being constantly bumped. Because Darth Vader without a target lock versus with a target lock is a monster level difference. And that's something you really need to take into account. Going from 4 dice range 1 shot, changing 1 into a crit, to a TIE fighter very poopy 2 dice shot is very relevant. If Darth Vader gets bumped twice without taking any meaningful target locks, I feel like he's going to lose the game. But perhaps Visor can help him out in that regard. Looking at the lists on the Separatist side, Sun Fac, an absolutely premier 6 initiative ace, has the ability to give out tractor tokens. So once the tractor token goes onto you, a small base ship, that ship has until the end of the turn 1 less agility dice, and you can only put the math together when you compound that amongst multiple shots on one ship. And one thing about Sun Fac is, if it's a battle between Fen Rao and Sun Fac, Fen Rao actually runs away from the fight, so that shows you how powerful this character is as an ace option. Whereas if Fen Rao was versing Darth Vader, he would 100% take that fight every day of the week. Moving on, Dirge, just an extremely potent ability. If you high roll it, you can practically heal back to full HP and just get insane value. And obviously he can like solo carry you the game if you get multiple proton cannon shots. But I always find it somehow extremely difficult to do it. But perhaps we're going to see some stuff where simply using the bullseye to really make barrel rolling out the way and stuff very questionable. And then we just have a swarm of vulture droids. My opinion, the best way to do a vulture droids is like initiative kill them. If there's, you know, a big ship like the gauntlet that looks juicy, just go for the vulture droids. You need to get value. If these things are allowed to shoot twice collectively, you'll just straight lose the game, like straight up. Because once again, these are all missiles, right? So that's 12 dice if you don't deal with it on the first engagement. And they're simply gonna humbly go like forward, right? So definitely against a separatist list, you do not want to play the early game. You want to play to that point where the 2v2, the 1 versus 1 extreme points diff. And then we just have a gunship, which has the insanely wide arc of left and right, like a tooth, right, in Scum. Just an insanely good piece. Nothing really much to say. And we have to talk about Nantex's iconic ability of having arc to rotate. And you can only so at initiative 6, you'll be able to see where everyone is, and even if they're at the left or right of you, you can change your arc. So it's going to be very difficult to not get shots with Sun Fac unless they're directly behind you. And then we have a gunship. There's a reason why in XWA they got nerfed, right? Lots of health, only rolls 1 agility, but requires 2 range 1 shots objectively to kill a 3-point ship. Obviously insane. And these things roll 3 dice naturally and have very good movements. And let's talk about Hondo. Interesting ability, more coordinate action on your stuff, better able to enable those missiles and stuff, give extra protection. But it's just a coordinate bot. Gonna be interesting to see what he jams, if he jams the gunship or another vulture droid he doesn't care about. But let's dig in. Discussing about the positioning now. So we know how powerful a simple 2 ships of the Empire side of a high point Empire ship and a coordinate bot can be, as in terms of a jousting squad. We've already seen it go against Han Solo and Luke Skywalker, and we saw it completely annihilate 2 A-Wings and Wedge. But 7 ships might be a tall order. If you look at the game logically, perhaps Darth Vader can get an initiative kill versus one of the prototypes, but then it will have to deal with 6 shots. And logically speaking, if that's 3 shots with at least one single grain to mod. Wouldn't be the best case scenario for Darth Vader is that he lives on half health. So I'm wondering if Darth Vader's gonna turn away, try and get them to curve in, and even then, if that happens, maybe the Vulture droids are just gonna freely go into rocks. So that's gonna be fascinating. I'm also wondering if, like, you're gonna run away and then try and zoom past Art Dodge. I've played this kind of list before, and I've experienced the fact that you can lose heavily with the jousting squad. As long as the powerful ships, you know, the flanker gets to curve in, you're gonna see good stuff happen. But this is definitely dynamic of what do you do against supreme firepower as 4A ships when you're facing it directly with your 2-ship jousting squad. Talking about asteroid positioning, I'm not extremely well versed in it, but you definitely see this triangle formation a bit when it comes to like acing squads. But one thing you can take from this, like every single game against Vulture droids, is that you really want to make it awkward for when they go onto the rock, that they don't get that obstruction bonus. So if you notice on like the middle, on the Empire side, close to the objective, if a Vulture droid lands directly onto that rock, it's going to be very easy to have an obstructed shot every single time. And another thing that's interesting is every single ship can go onto a rock, or every Vulture ship. No gas clouds. I mean, that's kind of obvious. We don't want our Darth Vader to lose his target locks on the enemy ships. And the Vulture droids want to be on things which they can't be on gas clouds. Yeah, nothing really much to say. This is definitely not an open asteroid field. It's very much so cluttered. So we're gonna have to see how that impacts when it comes to how this Separatist list curves in. Separatist wins the initiative. The Vulture droids do 2 straight respectively, then take a target lock on the gunship to make use of Hondo. The gunship does 1 straight, then uses Hondo as an action to jam Sunfac and give the Vulture droid on the bottom a calculate. Captain Ferrov does an Aurelian's boost to the right, then does a free straight. Captain Ferrov coordinates Darth Vader for a focus. Fifth Brother does 4 straight and target locks an asteroid. Dodge does a 2 straight into target lock onto the gunship. Sunfac does a 1 bank, gets a tractor, then barrel rolls to the right with the tractor. Darth Vader does 1 bank, then barrel rolls to the right, choosing the bottom path. Suntir does 5 straight, then boosts forward. So as predicted, Darth Vader and Captain Ferrov are not taking the 7 versus 2 shots, which is probably a good decision every single game. So instead of 2 straight stay the same, Darth Vader go 5 straight. It's 2 straight barrel boost to the right. I mean, in this case, Aurelians, but if you're running something different, right? It's interesting as well to see how Darth Vader isn't going completely violent with his move. He's not doing free hard. He's doing 1 bank barrel roll to the right. And that means he has the option of going back into the fight, which is not ideal. It's a gamble. But you have a lot of health. And if the Separatist side just curves in naturally, Darth Vader is going to have some nice split off forces to collapse on. So it's an option you can do as like a play pattern. I know one thing that was interesting is the Separatist side aren't just going two straight. Obviously, you got the gunship going one straight, which is basically the same thing. But if you want a tight formation and keep your ace in the back, one bank, barrel roll to the right. Something you can do as high initiative compared to all the rest of your ships, and it's going to be very easy for Sunfact to walk into this 5-man formation by simply doing like one bank next turn or a hard movement or something. And we're kind of seeing this ace. I kind of see this ace pattern on the left. I mean, sorry, on the top side, where they run away from you in a 1v1 engagement and you go as fast as possible and then boost to meet them next turn. In this scenario, he literally has no one that's running away from him, yet he still goes 5 straight into boost. I'm going to see how that intriguingly develops. We have to take note of the raw jousting power that this gunship gives to these guys. I mean, you know your list is a jousting squad when you can put all your target locks on allied ships, and it gives you a bonus effect. I mean, for them, it's basically going to negate the pain of being jammed by simply removing the target lock. But still, just interesting to see why this is 100% not a good fight for these two to take on the Empire side. The gunship does one bank. Uses Hondo to barrel roll the Vulture droid to the left, giving Sunfac a jam. The Vulture droid does a 2 straight onto the rock, using grappling struts to not take any damage. And then independent calculations for an extra calculate and a stress. The other 3 Vulture droids do 2 hard and double 3 hard respectively. Aurelian's boost to the left with Captain Feroth. After the boost is complete, coordinate 5th brother for an evade. Then proceed to do a 1 bank to the right, clearing the stress. 5th brother does a 1 bank, then takes a target lock onto the Vulture droid on the rock. Center does a 3 bank. Dodge does a 3 bank into focus. Does a barrel roll to the right, then auto thrusters for a boost to the left to line up bullseye. Darth Vader does a 3 straight. Takes an evade from Debris Gambit. Then does a barrel to the right, spending a force. Both Sintirfel and 5th brother do full modded shots into the Vulture droid, and the Vulture droid dies. The one on the rock. Both players have ships near the center at range 2. They gain a point, and then Empire gets 2 points for the Vulture droid. Score is 1-3. Round 2 conclusion. So you can see that Darth Vader went to the right instead of the left. Now, if Darth Vader in this scenario went to the left, it would be like complete devastation. Darth Vader would absolutely chew up the hell out of those Vulture droids, getting a nice shot in with the afterburners and such. Probably could have got coordinated to barrel to the left first and then do craziness. But keep it safe, keep it honest, because once again, if they just fly forward, Darth Vader gets light up, and the game is kind of difficult. Separatist side got a bit too greedy on the rock when Cynthia fell, and Fifth Brother 100% gonna be able to shoot on that rock. It was really nice to see like how he lined up the shot with auto thrusters at initiative 6 barrel roll. Was it free bank barrel roll into boost? That was very nice to line up on that kind of rock. The TIE Reaper, who's literally just gonna like surf the edge the entire game, giving out force to be used, possibly doing some coordinates, showing up late game, that kind of deal. But this is definitely how you deal with Ultra Droids, right? Or how you approach a list with a lot of them. You need to initiative kill them. They're the ones you should be getting an initiative kill in the first engagement, while splitting up their kind of direction. If we look on now though, we can definitely tell where the Vulture Droids are going to go, which is onto the rocks, right? Cynthia Fell has to figure out how to not get caught by some fag. The gunship goes 2 straight, then coordinates Dirge to take a target lock on the gunship, jamming some fag. The Vulture Droid does 2 hard onto the obstacle, then independent calculation for 2 calculators. The Vulture Droid does 1 hard into double calculate. The Vulture Droid does 2 hard into double calculate. Captain Ferroth does an Aurelion's boost to the right, then does a 1 sloop to the left, gaining a stress. Fifth Brother does 1 hard, then barrel rolls to the left, taking a stressful focus. Dirge does 2 straight into focus. Cynthia Fell does a 2 hard to the right, then takes an evade, auto thrustering for a boost to the left. Darth Vader does a 3 hard to the left, then spends 2 force doing 3 actions of target lock onto the Vulture Droid, focus, evade from debris gambit. Sunvac does a 3 bank, takes a tractor token to rotate his arc forward, then takes a focus. The only damage taken on round 3 was a Vulture Droid, and it was a crit from Darth Vader, and the crit is wounded pilot. Both players are near the center at range 2, and no ships have been half health yet. Score is 2-4, Empire winner. Round 3 conclusion. This is definitely the kind of play pattern that you would see for the TIE Reaper. Just playing it slow, running away from the fight, giving coordinates, doing Palpatine Force. First shot of the game, like the last 2 shots that count, it's gonna come in with a 3 dice gun. That type of business. It's kind of profound seeing Fifth Brother and how he moved after getting an initiative kill off. If he just flies straight, obviously it's terrible. You'd be running into a 4 dicer from the gunship and a 3 dice from the Vulture Droid. So taking double range 1 shots is not the best. Instead, opts to turn away from the fight, missing shots, but significantly in less threat of all other ships. And then we have Cynthia Field not coming in, but once again I think that's kind of obvious. The gunship is just gonna throw back a 4 dice into Cynthia Fell, and it could 100% swing hard. And we're seeing Cynthia Fell being set up to absolutely come in and crush the Vulture droids simply by doing some 2 hard blue into boost, barrel roll, set up all those mods, or 2 hard blue, take an evade, boost or barrel roll, and get that triple modded shot with Predator Duke focus at Initiative 6. So yeah, Sinterfell definitely set up to dominate, but one thing that's a worry is the Sun fact coming in. So next round of round 4, whoever wins initiative is gonna heavily be strong. And I think from Sun fact we're just gonna see like a 1 hard into tractor. And I think even if you lose initiative, it's worth doing for the hope of catching Sun fact out. Yeah, this is for the hope of catching Sinterfell out. Darth Vader taking what, 1, 2, 3, 4 shots. Granted, the three shots of them are just 2 dice plinkers. I think maybe Discord missiles, but just barely out of the bullseye of Dirge. Perhaps Separatists could have set that up better, where Dirge could completely deny that little hovel that Darth Vader is in right now. So it's definitely not over quite yet. Fifth Brother did an amazing job not dying, not taking 1 billion damage range 1. Sometimes you don't want to just keep going. Sometimes you just want to 1 hard barrel roll and just get out of there. The gunship does 2 hard. Coordinates Sun fact for a focus, jamming off a target lock. The Vulture droid does 2 straight into calculate. The Vulture droid behind it does 2 straight into independent calculations. The Vulture droid stays on the obstacle, taking 2 calculates, gaining a stress. Visor does a 1 bank into focus. Fifth Brother does a 1 hard blue, then barrel rolls to the left. Dirge does 2 hard, setting up a block, taking a target lock. Sun fact does a 1 hard, takes a tractor token to rotate his arc to the right, then boosts forward, then takes an evade. Darth Vader does a 4K, but is unable to complete the maneuver, simply gaining a stress bumping into Dirge. Sinterfell does 2 bank, which puts him in a precarious situation, but a simple boost to the left. Arc dodges the bullseye, not the wide arc. Vader lost his shields, and the gunship lost its shields to Visor's attack, but other than that, that's all the damage. Round 4 conclusion. Fifth Brother really hoping he is a bomber right now, but because of him being a Force user, not taking any damage from these droids. Darth Vader, on the other hand, it's a bit risky to... I feel like 100% it's always going to be a blocking situation, so 4K is like extreme risk. Maybe could have saved some force with a stress focus instead. But if he gets off, that Vulture droid is 100% dead. So it's not that bad. Sinterfell. I definitely think from that angle he was always going to do like 2 hard blue. But some fact hard read that with setting up the bullseye, but just needed to put the arc in the other direction. So it's kind of like an interesting scenario of, do you want to take my big 4 dice attack or get tracted and have no tokens? But I definitely feel like this kind of scenario, if Sinterfell moves first it's going to be absolutely brutal for him, right? It's game of initiative, right, with the sixes. Vulture droids, nothing really much to say. Staying on the rock, doing their thing. Dirge with a very nice block. Anytime you can block Darth Vader, it's highly potent, especially a 4K. Probably gonna see from some fact, one hard, rotate arc, get some damage in. And I think Sinterfell is going to try and zoom away from this fight as badly as possible. Try and get some Vulture droid kills with his triple modded shots. Both players are near the center and no ship has been half healthed. Score is 3-5. Empire winning. Darth Vader does a free straight. Then does afterburners to escape Dirge's bullseye. As well as the range one. Gunship making use of repulsor lift stabilizers by doing a 2-side slip that is non-stressful. Then uses Hondo as an action to coordinate Dirge to have a focus and to take off a target lock that a friendly ship put on. Vulture droid does 2 talent onto an obstacle. Another Vulture droid does 2 hard onto an obstacle. The Vulture droid on the obstacle turns to the right, but not going off the obstacle, then takes 2 calculates. Captain Ferrith does an Aurelian's boost, utilizing his pilot ability to give out a target lock to Fifth Brother, and then put it onto the gunship, and then simply does a 1 straight, being forced to skip his perform action step. Fifth Brother does a 2 Talon, perfectly set up to do some missiles. Dirge doing a 2 Talon. Some facts suffering to initiative would have been a really nice 1 hard into react to where Sinterfell is going, but just bumps. Sinterfell does a free bank, then auto thrusters for evade barrel roll onto the Vulture droid, setting up that triple range 1 modification. He then takes a stressful evade because not range 1 near obstacle from Debris Gambit. So Fifth Brother and Visor shoot into the gunship and the gunship explodes. And funnily enough, Sinterfell did not manage to kill the Vulture droid on the rock. Darth Vader is 1 hole away from being half health. Both players are in the center range 2. And we have 1 half health ship on the Vulture droid. And the gunship got taken out. Score is 4-11. Round 5 conclusion. Just absolutely brutal for Sunfac to win initiative here. Completely misses a shot while Sinterfell gets to just spend everything harm-free. And this could have been 100% a range 1 kill by the young Sunfac. But at least right now he has the possibility of doing a 2 hard, hopefully losing initiative this time, and adapting where Darth Vader goes and getting some massive damage on a 7-point ship with 3 hull left. So we're really hoping for that to happen. And perhaps Dirge can set it up in a way where if Darth Vader wants to dodge Sunfac, you're going to be right into the bullseye of a proton cannon. That would be good. But just an excellent coordinate of Fifth Brother to shoot their weapon, or shoot his weapons at the gunship. But very late into the game, we're finally set up as vulture droids onto these rocks. So maybe just some low IQ just turning and shooting. Maybe something happens. Definitely feel like this Darth Vader situation can get violent for him. Yeah, we're just gonna see how this plays with the bullseye and the Sunfac threat. If I'm thinking where Sintifel is gonna go next, hopefully this time maybe we get a one shot on the Vulture droid this time. Maybe a 2-bank boost, focus evade. We'll see. The Vulture droid does 2 straight off the rock and takes double calculate. Another initiative 1 Vulture droid stays on the rock and takes a calculate. Visor does a 1 Aurelian's boost to the right, then does a free bank into evade. The initiative 3 Vulture droid stays on the rock and takes double calculate. Fifth brother does 1 bank, then takes a target lock onto the Vulture droid facing him on the rock. Dirge does a 2 bank, then does 1 boost forward into focus. Sintifel does a 2 bank, then takes a focus auto thrusters for an evade. Darth Vader does a 1 bank, then does a barrel to the left, spending all his force for focus evade. Sunfac does a 2 hard into focus. Engagement phase, a HAL prototype shoots out Discord missiles template. Shooting phase, Sintifel initiative kills a Vulture droid in the bullseye, and Visor takes 1 whole damage. Both players are in the center, and Empire has killed a 2-point ship. Score is 5-13. Round 6 conclusion. Would have hoped to see Sunfac fly a little bit faster. I believe it was 2 hard instead of 3 hard. Maybe could have boosted and get that tractor token 5 dice attack versus Darth Vader. But obviously Dirge was never going to be able to in life get a bullseye shot off. Simple reaction and barrel roll. I mean, what's there to say really? Sintifel is coming in, and logically, once he gets a turn for free, only gets shot at. He hasn't even got pressured by Sunfac the entire match really, due to losing initiative. But yeah, Sintifel is now in the fight, and now he's getting some initiative kills going. Just gonna go quickly over round 7 that led to time out, so no 20-point win. All the Vulture droids have virtually been killed with the exception of 1, and there is no real out for the Separatist. The only way is to kill Darth Vader, but Sunfac and Dirge would have to fully commit, and even then, if the Vulture droids die, you need to stay close to the center as well, so it's a bit rough. But it was a fun game to watch, and I hope you guys enjoyed.